Hello, everybody.
How's it going, Kat?
We hope that you are doing well. We apologize for the delay. Life. Um, Welcome back to William Ravelowe, Requiem of William Ravelowe, Prophecy and Sacrifice. This will be our season finale, folks. So
Long time
this
coming.
is, yes, this is the last episode for William until May. We will be back with William in May.
That is correct.
But
But
don't worry. Every other Sunday there will still be a story from the Tooth and Claw universe. You will be. I don't know if I know some people have seen the promo for the Valkyrie file case files. But that is the story you will all be watching. With Artemis's boyfriend LaFontaine.
among other people.
Yes,
So,
among other people.
but yeah, that will be a limited run unless you guys really love it, and then we'll have to figure out a way to keep it around forever. But yeah, this is this is the end of our season 1. Are you excited, Ashley?
Yes, I'm excited and a little sad.
Me too. Me
Uh,
too. It is a melancholy joy.
well, yeah. It'll be a short break though. It won't be a very long break.
Yes.
And I'll be busy, so it'll fly by. So, do you want to recap?
No, you should.
Okay. So, William and his child Rose think of a April Ludgate from Parks and Rec, or just that actor, Aubrey Plaza. Uh, They went to London with their good old buddy Nux, think Spike from Buffy, and uh, ran into his wife slash child Juliet, think a Drusilla Mary Poppins type character, who realized that William's memories were all not right, a little wonky, that he wasn't remembering things because he was supposed to know her and he didn't know her. So they meet with a friend of Juliet and Nux's who tries to who says that he just needs to like go through his memories and fix them, but the only problem is there's something a little odd. It's not just that his memories have been screwed with, but that there is what we are calling the editor in his mind, which is something that looks like his sire Josephine, who originally screwed up his memories.
Think the shade from uh Inception, or as a dream golem, a subconscious programmed defender of something.
Yes. So because of that, it's not as simple as just going into his memories and trying to rework them and build his own memory palace. Um, he's gonna have to cope with the editor. So to do that, he was told he needs to find somebody called the Keeper, who may or may not even exist. But someone from the secret Anushka's Ladder Ordo group in London, Thaddeus, told William that he knows somebody who can help him with the Keeper, but he needs to do something for him. So he told him he had to go to Poland, find someone named Dr. Frank, and recover lost Ordo notes from World War II.
This resulted in a merry chase all across Poland, favors owed, people met, fight with Nazi ghouls, the meat of a mock wolf and its keeper, the whole bunch of lots of ghost hunting, Nazi Nosferatu that got away and was doing human experimentation, the discovery of one of the lost Nazi gold trains, and a bunch of other hijinks. But the papers were recovered and returned.
Yes. Then he came back to London to meet with a member of the Loyalists of Thule, which is a hunter group. Uh, and he was from Germany. His name is Milo Kruger. He said that he can definitely get him to the keeper, not just, somewhere around where the keeper and he has to find him, but can definitely put him in touch with the keeper, and the keeper does exist. However, um, he needed a favor. He needed him to find a skull of a kindred, which turned out to be the prize for an Ashford Abbey.
Ashford Abbey.
I always want to call him Ashwood Abbey. Ashford Abbey, which is another hunter group. But it was the prize for one of Ashford Abbey's famous events called the Gauntlet, where contestants have to try to get through a maze full of special party favors, as they called them. And the person who was the fastest, the most creative, and people who actually survived all added up to points for the winner, and the winner was William and Nux. So they got the skull. And
We're the most creative.
as William and all of his coterie were driving back into the city of London, he heard the voice of somebody super familiar,
His sire,
his
Josephine, who
sire,
sucks.
Josephine. And that's where we left you.
All right, then. You're going to have to tell me what happens then.
That you heard the voice, and that was it.
Oh,
You don't see her, you don't feel her. I mean, as far as you know, she's a long time away. Like a long ways away.
okay. So we're not flashing to the next scene
Oh yeah,
dramatically?
I mean we can. Yeah, you
Yeah.
you drive. I mean you drive back to your uh your flat. You can contact Thaddeus and let him know that you have what Milo was looking for.
Hmm.
And he'll arrange a meeting for you to meet with Milo following night.
That's what's to do.
Mhm.
The skull is acquired. Can I is there any chance or opportunity for us to, I don't know, stop by a graveyard or something, see if I can siphon off some ambient plasm?
Yeah, I mean you guys the night. Well, oh no, you know what? Because you guys were heading home because the sun was coming up.
Yeah.
So I mean, but if you want to, right before your meeting with Milo, although I'm not familiar enough with London to tell you if there's a cemetery that is close enough.
There's bound to be one somewhere. Like, it doesn't even have to be a cemetery. Just can I go like,
Well, there's a ton of ghosts in London, so
yeah. So
have
can I
at
like,
it.
sniff out some mean ones and just siphon off plasm?
Hmm.
Okay. Normally I like a good hunting scene, but we've got a limited window of opportunity here.
We have a limited amount of time today.
Yeah. So much to do and less time to do it in. Okay. Plasm. I'm just gonna tank that up. Thank you.
I was thinking of evil ghosts in London, and Jack the Ripper is the very first one that popped in my head.
It's almost too cliche to work
It was the
at
first
this
thing that
point.
popped in my head.
Wow. All right. So
All right, so you get your plasma, and then you go back to the bookstore to give Milo the skull.
mhm.
Did
did
you
I
want to
have
do?
did I have any time to like do a more thorough scan or examination of the skull? Because I'm still
Yeah,
curious whose head I have in a box.
yeah, yeah. What do you want to do?
Well, first I'd like to, use a little bit of ectoplasmic sight to see if I can get any connection to its ghost or the echoes of its past or anything like that.
Um, Oh, I need my dice.
Jeez. We are
Uh,
having an off day, aren't we?
yes, we are. It's the most important thing. Not the most important, but you don't get any kind of like glimpses into who this person was.
Duh.
Um, but you feel like you may know this person.
Can I try an Auspex Spirit's Touch?
Yes. All right, what am I rolling?
Uh, Too far, Kevin. 11 dice. Wits plus occult plus Auspex. 3 things I'm pretty good at.
Um, you get like a sense of like rocking, kind of like a boat, and like a splash of like sea air.
Huh. Does this feel literal or does this feel interpretive? Because with Spirit's Touch, sometimes you get a flash of what has been, but other times you get,
Oh,
um,
yeah, yeah, no, I understand what you mean. You get like
yeah,
like a
I
metaphor.
smell piss. They're a scaredy cat. You know, this
Yeah,
is
no,
this is a
this
metaphor or a thing.
this feels literal.
Mm, hmm. Okay. Is there any kind of occult history or academics I could do on this thing? I mean, obviously, phrenology is fake science, but
I mean, you don't sense that it's whoever this person was, that it's spirit or anything that, like it's not tethered to the skull.
all right. Well, that's comforting. So, yeah, I guess that's the most
Um,
important thing. I am still curious about the mystical provenance of this skull, but I don't think I have the resources necessary to figure that out on my
yeah, and I was gonna say I mean, to even date it, you would need scientists.
own. And I'm just not quite that sciencey.
No, nobody here is.
No. I've got like 1 dot of science.
I
All
think
right.
Rose is the most sciency person here, and she doesn't even. I mean, she can't. She's not that sciency.
Mm,
I mean, maybe if it was like, she needed to perform some real quick first aid or something, but carbon dating a
well,
skull,
that's
no.
that's that's medicine. All right.
Well,
Well,
she was pre-med. What do you
that's
want from her?
that's fair. That's fair. Um, okay. Yeah. I am I guess it's time to turn it over to Milo.
All right. So you head over to Tiny Musty Bookshop. And Milo is waiting for you. He is standing holding his briefcase in front of the cash register talking to um Thaddeus.
Mm,
Uh they are both speaking German.
I speak German.
The tail end of the conversation that you catch is it will be put in the I'm sorry, brain English words.
It's fine.
Um it will be under the utmost security, or it will You know what I'm saying.
Top men.
Yes, top
Yeah.
men.
Okay. The skull is a source of unspeakable power, and it has to be researched. No, we're putting it in a box where no one will find it. Unless they make a new Indiana Jones movie. Such a shame there's only 3. So anyway,
Anyway. Anyway. I'll leave that alone. Anyway, so that's what you hear, and then they both, it's because the door has the ding ding, and as soon as that they hear it, it's like he says that, and then it's just they stop talking and they just turn and look at you. Ah, Mr.
mm,
Ravelowe. See, did you get what I asked for?
in fact, I did. I take it's going to be kept under the highest security.
Yes.
I'm giving it to you either way. But what exactly am I giving you? I set the box down.
I already told you that it is the skull of a kindred.
You didn't tell me which kindred. Open the box.
You might want to keep that closed.
Closes box. Just showing you that it is what you asked for. Can you tell it's the skull you need?
So he sets his briefcase down on the table, opens it up, puts gloves on, um, and then takes like a kind of like a little scrape to take some bone samples. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is accurate scientifically, but I swear to God, I think they do this in bones. So, which who knows if that's accurate?
Well, look, it's an undead person's skull anyway, so we're kind of past
Right.
traditional
Yes.
terrestrial
Science.
science. You can
Yes.
do whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, well
Really?
he takes some bone scrapings of the like one sharp canine,
Mm.
one of them, into like a little like vial. And then he positions his back so you can't see uh what he's doing, and even though Nux is trying to kind of like walk around, Thaddeus pushes him back. um you do see him shake it, and then he holds it up to like a light, plops it back in the case, puts his gloves back in, closes the case, closes the skull case, turns around. This is what I'm looking for, yes.
I wish we could trade information. You clearly have so much to teach. So, the keeper.
Yes, that was the agreement. He reaches into his coat jacket and pulls out an envelope for you.
Take the envelope.
It has
Open.
travel itinerary. It's a travel itinerary. You will be taking a. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Okay. Well, you're flying to Rome.
Super. I'll have to dig up my Lankea pin. How
So
far?
it
How far did I
looks
get?
like
Silver or gold?
nonstop. It's your Lankea pin.
Yeah, from when the prince had his little
Oh, right.
loyalty crap.
Oh, you mean the cross? That was specific to something that was happening in New Orleans.
I know, but it's little things, you know?
I think that you eventually reached gold, didn't you?
I guess I did, which is funny considering how little I like the Lankea.
Well, you did help Vidal a lot, even though
Fidel
you didn't
needed
like him.
help.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so according to Google, it is 2 hours and 20 minutes nonstop flight. So you could go there tonight because we'll say it's still relatively early.
Thank goodness I bet a whole bunch of money on myself. Because last minute plane tickets to Rome in the middle of the night? Yeah, that's cheap.
Oh, no, there are tickets in the envelope. It's a whole like the trip was planned for you.
Oh,
There's an itinerary that shows you your flight. There are tickets for the flight, and you will be staying in a room at the Residenza San Paolo the sixth hotel.
do I have time to like pack and hunt really quick?
Yeah, we'll say that you need to be at the airport. You have an hour. I'll give you guys an hour.
Jeez, if in an airport, that's not enough time. We got to run
Yeah,
then.
no, you have an hour before you have to be at the airport.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. These are the details we get bogged down in our games.
I know
What's
we
the
don't think
travel
about
time
those
and what if there's a
details.
delay?
We usually don't worry about those things, but
I always worry about. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Well then, thank you. This, I mean, there's more in there than just tickets to Rome, right? I mean, like where I'm supposed to go, who I'm supposed to talk to.
so you have the whole itinerary for your flight to Rome. You have the confirmation of the booking for your hotel room. You have the plane tickets, and he just says the person that you need to meet with will be at your hotel room.
It's very convenient. Thank you. Well, did I ever get his last name, or is he just Milo? Shit. Am I frozen? Oh, there we are.
Yeah, you were there. You are. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, did I freeze or did Kevin freeze?
it would have been the 45 minutes. All right.
Oh, hey. Well,
So,
maybe instead of
oh,
you just freeze now.
only now at the end does it understand. All right. Um. So, his name is. Did I ever get his last name, or it's just Milo?
Krieger, Milo
Krieger.
Krieger.
That's right. Well then, Herr Krieger, thank you. Hold out a hand to shake.
Sorry, hold on a second. My
Okay.
computer is. Are you listening to the Spotify?
Yes, I am. And you all should be too.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Yes, don't forget the link for the Spotify playlist is down below in the About section, and the song we're listening to is in the Listen Along section on the video. Anyway, yes, okay, Milo Kruger was his name.
I put out my hand to shake. Thank you. Truly.
No, thank
Does he
you.
take it?
Yeah, he does. And he says, no, thank you.
I hope we can work together again in the future. I know what your profession is, but you seem a decent fellow.
There might be much that we can teach each other.
I look forward to it. Well, we don't have much time. Herr Kruger, Thaddeus, thank you.
A deal is a deal.
All right, hustle upstairs and pack some essentials. Obviously, I can't bring a whole bunch of guns on a commercial flight. which really
Uh,
diminishes my ability to engage in combat if it comes up. Well done, you. Um,
I assume that you let V know.
of course.
Okay. Do you want her to come with you or do you want her to stay?
Uh, it looks like everything's arranged, and honestly, I'm worried for her, and I don't know if I can fully trust myself at this time. Plus, how
Okay.
many tickets are there?
4.
I mean, that's the coterie. If anybody isn't coming along, then yes, I'll bring her. How about that?
Okay, yeah, no, they're all coming along. Um, but Juliet thinks it's a good idea that V stay here,
Yeah.
and she says that Thaddeus can help look after her.
All right. So I will give V a taste before I go, just in case. Deducting one vitae and one willpower. And yeah, just tell her I'll be back soon and be prepared for any messages. Might need some remote help.
Oh, so can you repeat that last thing? I was looking at something. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I give her I top off her ghoulishness.
Okay, yeah, uh-huh.
And tell her I'll be back as soon as I can. I need you here, but you can still help me by remote. So do whatever research you can, work up a dossier on Rome, open up your computer and have the maps open for me, okay?
All right.
All right. Grab the bag, grab the Lankea pin. I know it's not universal, but it could come in handy.
Yeah,
Uh, Aside from that, I think I'm ready.
okay. On the way to the airport, Nux is hanging out the car window smoking, and when you get to the airport, he stands outside the airport having one last cigarette.
Of course. I don't know who I am to make
So,
fun of him smoking when I've got a hookah in my hand.
it's a real shame they won't let you smoke on an airplane anymore.
Recycled air, dude. You smoke, everybody smokes.
I still don't see the problem.
Children?
Still don't see the problem.
Okay.
I grew up in a different time.
Yeah, but you're here now. Advantages of pseudo immortality.
As he's yelling that, people are like looking, like, what the hell? Because he looks like he's like 18.
Yep.
All right, your flight to Rome is relatively quiet. So it's you can have 2 and 2, so whoever you want to sit next to.
Uh, who seems the most willing to talk to me? Because Juliet's often hesitant, and Rose is Rose.
Probably. Well, I mean, Juliet always likes to take travel time to meditate.
Right.
Rose doesn't
Uh,
talk to anybody. She's playing on her what was the travel game
I don't remember.
back in 06, 05?
Some Game Boy. I don't know.
Yeah, boy, something or other.
But I will take the time to meditate as well. That is a excellent point.
Okay, and maybe Game Boy Advance. I don't know.
Something that bleeps and bloops.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway,
I will take the remaining time to that I'm not meditating, which should only take a minute or two. I'll take that time to go over some more of the notes that we got.
from Poland.
Yeah.
So there is reference in the notes to The you had found reference before to the worm's nest in Poland. Um, worm's nest, right? For Ordo, it's worm's nest. Yes.
Correct.
Sorry, sometimes I get confused because Artemis calls it something different.
I know.
Um, so you did find those notes. But then there is a mention of a worm's nest somewhere in Romania that is under Ordo control for now, at least, the notes say.
Calciferes.
Uh, huh?
Oh, such a surprise.
Oh. uh, and another reference to a um worm's nest in Germany under Ordo control. And that they've been trying to see if they could somehow be connected in certain ways. And there is reference to a person in Romania who is they call him the keeper of the worm's nest.
Hmm. In Romania or Rome
In
or Germany?
Romania.
Okay.
But there are some uh okay, PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS. Oh, I guess the freeze video didn't mean Kevin wasn't gonna drop off. Oh well, he should be back in a few minutes.
There's the hiccup.
He is. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. So,
Okay.
there is some reference to
There is some reference to, as I told you, the keeper of the worm's nest in Romania. Um, but they talk about whoever wrote these notes. You assume Thaddeus because he wanted them back. Um, but they talk about how this keeper has had some remarkable discoveries with using a worm's nest in relation to torpor.
hmm,
And the notes are dated, and you do notice that when was Poland invaded? 39? Well, right around the time Poland was invaded is where the notes seem to stop.
39, 1st of September.
So yeah, so right like shortly before that is when the notes seem to stop.
Okay. Super. Let's hope they're still around. All right. So, anything else interesting going on, or like with the notes, or just cool stuff I can reflect on?
Um Louis was decoding the floppy disk for you, right?
Yeah.
From the lab.
Yep. I assume everything's done.
Yeah, so he sends you stuff whenever he finds it, encrypted, of course. But I think I told you that he found stuff, something called the oh, what was it called? The something project. Oh, Project Geisterwander
Right.
Wandler. But he sent you information about notes on trying to fuse different animals with human,
Hmm.
trying to replicate that of a werewolf.
Like the mock wolves.
Right.
Hmm.
And he sends you notes about what he's decrypted so far, which is like the very first experiments, which ended up um in disgusting gruesomeness.
Yay.
Um and uh he decided to decrypt the very first. experiment and then the very last, just to see how far they had gotten. And in the very last experiment, it says there were only 2 subjects uh, that it somehow and these were back in 1944, these notes, but that there were 2 subjects that seemed to have taken to the experiment in a pleasing way.
Any photos?
Yes.
It's the
Uh,
two guys from the.
the 2 guys from Quadzco,
Yeah,
but not the super blonde one who is clearly not a mock wolf, who you also ran into at the gauntlet,
right.
Alexi,
Hmm.
and not the woman that you were competing against in the gauntlet,
Hmm.
Katina. Um, yes.
All right.
But I mean, you can theorize that there's probably more notes, considering even though when the war ended, that didn't stop that lab.
True. All right. Anything of special note, or any dialogue, or we land in Rome?
Um, well, Nux is bouncing his knee a lot.
What's wrong, buddy?
He's trying to read a book, but his knee is bouncing and his hand is tapping.
You okay?
Well, I'm trying to focus on this book, and I keep reading the same sentence over and over again because it's not making sense, because I need a fucking cigarette!
Okay.
Person sitting next to Nux just like looks over at him.
Scowl.
Yep.
It's a nun.
All right, so you fly. Your plane lands. Unless there's other stuff you want to do during your flight.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So you land in Rome, and excuse me. Mhm. I'm trying. I don't know how long it takes from the airport to your room.
It's not that important.
Okay, we'll just say that you drive to your room. So you are staying at the Residenza San Paolo the 6th, and um, it is literally right outside Vatican City.
Woo!
Like, here's the border, here's the hotel. There, like, the bottom part of it is like this kind of like white stone, not marble. But when you get to the door, you have to like walk into this like narrow like courtyard thing to get to the door that leads inside. The hotel is only 4 stories tall, and stories 2 through 4 are like a brownish reddish brick.
Okay.
The reservations are in your name. So when you walk up to um the concierge, the check-in desk, you just have to give them your name, and they give you your key to room 22.
22.
When you get to your room, you open the door. The room is sort of small. There is one big king bed, and there's a window, but the curtains are really heavy and covering the window. There are 2 side tables and a little chair, like a beige chair. The walls are beige. There are some like fancy woodworking um around the like bases of the floor and the tops of the floor. There's a nice wooden desk, And sitting in the chair by the bed is a familiar face. You see Augustus Vidal, the former prince of the city of New Orleans.
Told you wearing that pin was going to pay off.
um, he is just sitting there leaning on his hand. Well, been a while.
My prince.
I'm not a prince here.
Then my lord. You're a welcome sight, sir. I'm not terribly surprised to find you in Rome, but a little surprised to find you here.
I needed to do some rethinking after everything that happened in New Orleans.
Yes, sir.
And they thought that it might be better for you to have a familiar face.
They?
They.
Cryptic, sir.
So, you want to meet the keeper.
Yes, sir.
Well, you can't know the whereabouts of the keeper. It's just not allowed. But you can be taken to the keeper. But
Thank
you'll
you.
have to agree to be put under.
Put under.
Yes.
I take it there's some drugged blood pouch I must drink from.
Something like that. I understand that you don't necessarily trust me or the Lankieth Sanctum.
I trust those who have sent me, my lord. And while our dealings may have put us in a position where I know more about you than most, that actually lends me a bit more trust. Understanding goes a long way. If you don't mind my prying, I am curious what a bishop of the Lankhead Sanctum knows about an obscure Ordo mystic.
It's not my story to tell.
I can respect that.
There is someone you're going to have to try to convince to come with you. The keeper has expressed concerns that they may be needed for this particular problem.
Who must
It
I seek out?
it is the dragon monk who is staying at the Santi Isidro a Capo le Cas monastery.
Apologies to any of our Italian fans.
Yes, sorry, I don't speak Italian. I am not Italian. I apologize for the butchering of everything.
Okay. The Dragon Monk.
Yes. If you go to the monastery, anybody there you run in, just have to say you're here to see the monk. They'll know who you're talking about.
Very well. I simply retrieve them and bring them here.
Well, you can't force them to come.
Of course not.
You might have to do some convincing.
My lord, you may recall that No doubt vexingly for you, but in your service, I rarely forced anyone to do anything.
People change. Granted, kindred don't change as quickly, but you're young.
Have you changed, my lord?
In some ways, yes. In others, no.
I sincerely hope we have the opportunity to speak in the future.
Well, I'll be the one here while you are being prepped to be taken to see the keeper.
I look forward to it.
Just make sure that you have the dragon monk by midnight tomorrow.
Well, we're burning the nightlight then.
Have a good evening. He stops, looks Nux up and down, and then just keeps walking. We
I'm
have
like,
an understanding.
when Nux looks back at me, I'm just grinning at him. I'm his favorite
Hey,
in the
hey,
room.
who was the one that he put in charge of watching over his little coterie, hmm? Hmm?
Who's the one who
Hmm?
unraveled his rulership, and yet he still thinks I'm okay?
I helped.
I got my little merit badge. I did my time.
Alright, yeah. Look at you.
Yay!
The model citizen.
Teacher's pet.
Yeah, that's what you are.
Oh, it's so true. Dripping with sarcasm. Okay, so we're going to the I will not remember to repeat that.
It's a monastery. It's the Isidro a Capo La Cas Monastery. Case? Case. I'm not sure if it's Case
Casa.
or Case.
Casa.
It's not
Like casa.
Casa.
It's like casa.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's like Casa, but
Yeah.
it's not Casa. Yeah. I took a little bit of Spanish. Well, I took a lot of
So
it of
so
Spanish,
the
but
House of Isidro, something like that.
yeah, a Sant Isidro, the house of Saint Isidro. Oh, Sant Isidro. Would that be
All right,
Saint?
let's
I
do
don't
this.
know. Let's just move on.
Grab cab, move along.
Okay. So it's past midnight tonight, but you have to have the dragon monk back at that hotel room by tomorrow night at midnight. Do you like how the music I used for
Oh,
meeting Vidal was music I used when we were
called
in
me
New
right back.
Orleans?
Called me right back. Very referential. I was specifically thinking of that 30 seconds before you asked. Yes.
I'll pull you in with the
Eh?
music.
Eh?
I like to
Okay.
pull you in with the music.
I
Anyway,
know.
um okay, yes. So you go ahead and you're going to go tonight then?
Yeah.
Smart. All right. So you drive to the monastery. And it's a white building. Looks like it's 2 stories tall. It's behind a gate. And it looks like, so I apologize to people who are from Rome because I have to go off of like images and Google, and I may not be getting this completely correct. But there are like stairs that lead up, and then there's stairs that go around. And it looks like the door is behind gates that are like built into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm looking it up now.
yeah, and it's hard to find the inside. At least I have been having. I found something that I thought was the inside, but that's actually a different church.
It's a monastery, and it's
Yeah,
Chronicles of Darkness, so for all we know, it's fucking made
it's
of
different.
bones.
Yeah. So okay, so when you the gates are not locked, and when you go up the steps and into so it's a white building, but it's also connected to like brown brick buildings that if you look on the back, it looks like there's like trash and it might be an alley. Um, but when you walk in, there is a nun praying at the front row.
I'll let the door close just loud enough that it would announce our presence, but I won't interrupt her.
She doesn't look when the door closes. She
In
still doesn't
character.
look. Yeah, she doesn't look.
Okay. Walk in, look around a bit.
Um, okay. I'm going to describe what I think it would look like on the inside because, like I said, and I apologize if it's wrong. Um, but I'm thinking that it's kind of like, it's just a rectangular church. There's probably pillars on the side, the pews, the center aisle, the altar. Uh, it looks like there might be some like shrine isn't the right word, but that's the word that's coming to mind for me of like saints. So like possibly alcoves on the side
Hmm.
with religious shrines. The smell of incense wafts through the air. Normally William doesn't like churches.
No.
That's not really a thing for vampires unless I mean you could take it as a bane, but it's not like
It's a psychological
it's
thing,
a
not a thorn.
psychological thing, yes, for William.
Hmm.
Um, he's never felt comfortable, but the more time you're here, the you feel oddly at home.
I note this.
As you start walking through the church, when you get close to the nun praying, she doesn't look at you, but she just says, "Do you speak Italian?"
I don't.
Okay, well, she says something to you in Italian, which I don't speak Italian either.
Mm,
And I'm gonna butcher it if I try.
Temo di non parlare italiano.
Did you say you don't speak Italian?
Yeah, I think that's something every tourist should learn how to say I don't speak this language I'm speaking.
Okay. So pardon my Italian accent because it comes from Mario. I'm sorry, but that is how I learned to do the Italian
Lea
accent.
parle inglese?
Uh, she still doesn't look at you and she just says, "You are here to see the dragon."
Yes.
She was kneeling and had like a rosary. She just kind of like tucks the rosary in her sleeve, does the sign of the cross, stands on up. Please follow me.
Doo-doo-doo.
She leads you around down a hallway that's like on the side of the altar. To a At the end of the hallway, there's like a door, like a steel door. She opens it, and then there are like old stone steps that just go down. They go down and kind of like around. And then she takes you into a basement that's like really old and musty smelling and moldy smelling. Um, the basement has like old crates and boxes all piled up, and she kind of like winds her way through this maze of boxes and crates. Um, and the deeper you go, the more calm and at home you feel.
I'm gonna let my fingers like graze across the odd box and do a spirit's touch. No need to roll or anything, just if I get glimpses of anything narratively cool.
I just want to roll and see if you get anything. Um, so some boxes you get the smell of like gunpowder and fire. Some boxes you get the feel of like wood going right through your heart.
Ah,
Um, One box, when you touch it, it feels uh not like home, but like a sense of like ancestry in a weird way. Not by blood, but
But
like
by
just
blood.
no, not even by that blood either.
Oh.
Um Maybe more by association. Um and then she gets to there's like a big tall crate on the very back wall. It's like a gray stone wall that's kind of like moist. And she just pushes the box and it reveals a small wooden door. She takes out a key, unlocks it, and opens it. And inside, it's a quaint little apartment. It's like when you open it, it's like a nice little sitting room. The walls or the floor is concrete, but there's like a nice rug on it and like some like a nice sofa with some armchairs. There's even a TV. There are some bookcases along the back wall. It's a pretty small room, like maybe I don't know, like
A comfortable monk's
yeah, a
cell.
comfortable monk cell. And then you can see to the right there's like a door that leads to a kitchen, and then you can assume that there's like some other rooms, maybe a bedroom, a bathroom. Um, she steps aside so the four of you can like walk in. And as soon as the four of you are in, she closes the door and locks it. There are no windows, obviously. Well, you're underground, but there's no windows. Um,
Hello?
you hear shuffling coming from a room past the kitchen, and in walks a man who is wearing um he's wearing simple clothes, just simple like black pants and a simple white t-shirt with like a very very simple black robe and some slippers. Um
What's he look like?
he looks older. He's You can sense he's kindred, but he looks older in age. You would, if he was human, you would peg him in his like 60s maybe, cuz his hair is pepper and he has a beard. It's longer and he keeps it tied back. His skin is sort of, he's clearly Caucasian, but his skin is not like white. It's not like me, ghost white. There's some color there,
Who are you
even though he's
talking to?
kindred. Yeah, even though he's kindred. He oddly has a little bit of color. And he just walks in with his hands folded in front of him, and hello,
I take it you're the dragon monk?
that is what they call me.
Is that what you'd prefer I called you?
Doesn't necessarily matter what I am called.
My name is William Ravelowe. I've been asked to ask that you accompany me. I need your help.
Hmm. Why don't we all have a seat?
Okay.
So he lets
Introduce
all
everybody.
four, yeah, he lets all four of you sit. Um, while you're introducing everybody, he goes to shake everybody's hand. And then like lingers and just like looks at them. But there's no like recognition of what he's thinking or anything. So, you said you needed help?
I'm seeking a kindred known as the Keeper. My sire has interfered with my mind, and it has placed myself and those I care about in great danger. aside from my personal desires to reclaim my existence and my freedom of thought.
Oh, sorry. By the way, this kindred is old.
I was gonna ask, but I get the feeling like this dude's
He's old.
mm,
Old.
big
Really old.
potency.
Yes.
The kindred fight or flight is run, 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 run. Yeah,
He's very old, but you don't feel like you don't I mean, this dude's got some centuries, plural. But
but
you
there's a
don't
it's more
you so
soothing.
yeah, he's more soothing. Like you
Mm.
don't feel the usual anything around him that you usually feel around other kindred. Like you don't feel like you have to be on guard. You don't feel like you have to constantly assess his every word and movement.
It's my desire to reclaim my freedom of mind and the security of my friends insofar as I can offer it. I'm told the keeper can do this, or at least provide the opportunity for me to do it. But I've been asked to bring you along.
What about your mind is not peaceful?
My memories are not my own. I can't trust them. And my there's a presence in me, like a shard or a splinter of my sire in there.
Can memories ever really be trusted?
I believe that memory is interpretive. I believe it is biased. But I believe that if it is negatively affected by an external force, it is less to be trusted. There's a difference between bias and coercion.
And your sire, you have a great hate for her.
A great disappointment, I think, would be more appropriate.
There is some hate. Then is it for yourself?
To an extent, yeah.
Why?
I've been made to serve her ends which do not serve the collective good of people.
Even though we are not people.
We're not humans anymore, but I like to think we're people. But then I would say a werewolf is a person and they have less in common with humans than we do. I
He's while you're talking, he turns and looks directly at Rose. She's just kind of like looking at you and then like looking back and like being like, "Hello, can you help me here, Dad?"
listen to the nice monk, honey.
He just puts his hand on her. Her hands are kind of like folded in her lap, kind of like this. And he just kind of puts his hand on hers, and she stops fidgeting and looking around, and he just says, "What happened to you was not your fault. But there is a journey you're going to have to take to learn to accept this." And it's weird because you see Rose almost like She usually walks around with a sense of like, I don't care about anything. And it's always to hide pain. But you can see that some of that pain might have been eased.
Wow.
I do think that if we are going to see the keeper, what's your perception?
One moment, please. 8 with 8 again. Beware obsession.
Okay. You have obsession now.
Balls.
You notice that when he says the keeper, it is very, very slight, but there's almost a catch in his throat. But you are now obsessed about this.
Noted.
Like you feel like you're not going to be able to do anything constantly.
Till I figure out what's up with that.
Yep, what's up with that? Um, but he says the keeper, um, you should think about having her see him as well.
Does that mean you'll come with us?
I haven't decided yet.
Is there any way I might aid you in your decision?
You'll have to pick an anchor. Which one will be yours?
I look between them all and consider them. Rose is my child, but that wasn't as much my choice as me just trying to do the right thing. Um, Juliet, it feels like there's something there, but I don't have it. It's one of the things that lays on the other side, so that's an aspiration, not an anchor. But Nux, I mean, we may quibble, but he and I most certainly have a relationship. He's got my back, and we have shared suffering. That seems an anchor.
He's also probably one of the only kindred who doesn't seem to have an ulterior motive in wanting to know you.
I guess. I can't imagine what Rose's ulterior motive would be.
Well, she didn't. I mean, you made her, but when you met Nux, he's been kindred.
Yep. He's got no stakes but friendship.
Yep.
And possibly sweet, sweet vengeance.
Okay. Did you say all of this out loud, or was this like you're in your head?
Interior monologue. I look over the three of them and I nod to Nux.
Nux is just like, yeah, you know me. I'll do whatever you need. Follow you to the end of the earth.
Aw.
It's been a while since I have helped in the way you're going to need.
What way is that?
Well, you're going to have to be sleeping. But I do think you're going to need me. Who was it that sent you?
Augustus Vidal. An elder Ventrue of the Lancade Sanctum, a bishop, if I recall correctly.
Well, I'm gonna say that with all of your traveling and you're getting ready and all that stuff, that you're not gonna be able to go back to the hotel tonight. So you'll just have to stay here. Um, but he says we can leave first thing tomorrow night.
Thank you,
Um,
truly.
the ladies can have my bedroom. Uh, this way. So he takes Rose and Juliet through into the kitchen. You hear a door close, and then you hear like something being moved off of a table, and then like the creaking of a table. Well, you want the couch then?
I'll stay up.
Or we could snuggle and share it.
Oh, you. No, I'll stay up and read.
Alright, suit yourself. Nux lays down, closes his eyes, and he suddenly looks like a corpse.
Bust out notes and keep learning.
Alright. I think I've told you the gist of what is all in the notes.
Yeah, it's just gonna take more time to absorb that. I mean, it's not just clues about this adventure, but it's also potentially secrets to a new
Yeah. Well, I
coil,
mean,
and
there's
that's a
like
lot to read.
right, there's logistics and stuff about the worms nests and the experiments that were done there that you can read and absorb.
Maybe that gives me an equipment
Uh,
bonus at a later date if that comes up, but it's dry reading. You don't have to give
okay.
me all the hard details.
All right. Okay, so the day passes, night night is comes yet again. Um Nux wakes up. The dragon monk, uh you hear him shuffling around in the kitchen, and Rose and Juliet rejoin you. He goes and stands by the door that you guys came in and just like does three distinct knocks on the door. And it opens and the nun is standing there waiting, and he says, "I assume that Vidal Augustus Vidal has already spoken to you." And she just nods her head, and he says, then we must go." And she just steps aside and lets you all pass. You hear her closing and locking the door and shifting the crate again behind you. And you head back to your hotel room. Uh, Vidal's not there yet because he said midnight. So,
Can I take an opportunity to grab a quick sip?
yeah.
All right. Enough to
Actually,
top me off, or
all of you probably should.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there are it's early evening, so there's tourists and stuff walking the streets of Rome.
little dominate, little stealth,
Yep. Little
the
sippy sippy
cheapos
sip sip.
tactic of waiting outside a restroom.
Um yes. So then at midnight you hear a knock at your door. You open it and Vidal is standing there with his hands clasped behind his back like he usually does. And peeking around him, you see another familiar face. A small, slightly hunched man in a lab coat who is slightly
Motherfucker.
balding with the thin rimmed glasses, who
Motherfucker.
goes, "William,
Oh
it's a
god.
pleasure to see you again.
Why are you here? Hi.
I hear you're gonna go to sleep. I'm here to help." He just like pushes his way past you. "Oh, yes. Nux and Rose, how nice to see you as
For
well."
those of the crowd who don't know this guy,
Dr. Michaels is a coroner from originally, I think he was in Baton Rouge.
Oh, he
Uh,
was with us in New Orleans.
yes, he was in New Orleans. He got transferred to New Orleans when they needed a new coroner.
Don't know what the hell he is, but he
No,
knows all about everything.
he knows all. He's not kindred, but he knows a hell of a lot about the kindred. Uh, and you know, I mean, looking at him, he's probably in his like late 60s, but who knows? Who knows?
He's human.
He's human, maybe. But yes, that's who Dr. Michaels is.
If he ends up being like Pinstripe, I'm gonna be
No, he's not like
confused.
He's not like Pinstripe.
He's
He's
my Pinstripe. He pops up unwelcome.
he's something else altogether.
Ah,
He's like Pinstripe in that sense, although
yeah.
Pinstripe's not super unwelcome anymore.
Mm.
Well, why don't we all get comfortable?
Are we doing this here?
Yes. I'm gonna prep you so you can go see the keeper. I'm sorry, so
Right.
you can go on your little journey. Shh. Vidal is just like
Just look over at Vidal, and there's a certain shared sweet Jeebus.
he like leans over to you and is just like, of the people who know how to do this, he was the closest.
Did you feel about me the way I feel about him?
In the beginning, yes.
You have my heartfelt apologies.
Good luck, William.
Thank you, my lord.
All right, so the four of you all kind of lay on the king size bed together, and um, Dr. Michaels was like lugging in this big like suitcase, and he starts setting up this equipment that's like, it looks like IV drips, and he attaches them to each of you individually, and you feel slightly nauseous, like you're about to just like throw up everything you have in you, but then it subsides and the room starts to swirl and then it all goes black.
Mm.
And when you wake up, uh you do notice that the dragon monk did not have to be hooked up to an IV. Um when you wake up, you find yourself in a small tiny room that has uh two bunk beds. You are on one of the top bunk beds. If you look across, there's Nux. Below him is Rose, and under you is Juliet. And you all start to kind of like wake up. Um, when you first sit up, the feeling of I'm gonna throw up happens, but then it just stops.
What's this room like?
It's very small, wood. You do see that there is a like a porthole window in the wall, and when you look out, it's just water, like you're underwater.
Underwater.
Hmm.
Do I see the keels of other ships or
Mm-mm.
okay.
Like
Is
when you
there
look, you can't even like when you try to like look up. It's like there
I
you
mean it's
can't even.
nighttime.
Yeah, but it's as far as you can tell, you're just surrounded by a ton of water.
Is there a sense of us like rocking?
Nope.
Are we in a submarine?
A door opens and it's the dragon monk, and he says, "Oh, good, you're finally awake. He gave you too much."
Huh. Have to tell me what that is. Might make a wonderful non-lethal option.
I don't know what it is. Please follow me. So you step out into it's a really tight, narrow walkway. Um, there are about 3 other bedrooms, and then, like, you can see forward, there's, like, a control area, and it does look like what a submarine looks like. But he takes you to the back, um, where there is, like, what would be, like, the captain's office. So it's slightly bigger, and there are 2 bunk beds, and then he has 2 cots set up. And when you walk in, there is a man who has long, all white hair tied neatly back in a ponytail. Um, he's got stubble, but not a full grown beard. Pale skin, um, gray eyes, and he's wearing like a 1800s kind of suit.
Okay.
And he smells like dead roses.
The keeper, I
Um,
presume?
yeah, he stands up and he says, "Yes, I have been waiting for you.
It is a great relief to finally meet you.
I just hope I can help you."
William literally, like, just smiles, slumps, and sighs with relief. It is insane to meet someone who to meet a kindred who would say that.
My friend tells me you've already picked your anchor.
Look over at Nux. I have.
We're going to need to make a focal point. Uh, we're going to need to make a focal point for both of you.
Focal point.
Yes, so that it's supposed to help so that you can wake up easier. Oh, I guess William doesn't want to make a focal point.
Ah, it's supposed to what?
It's supposed to help you wake up easier.
Okay then. I look at Nux. You remember I went over to your place in New Orleans and uh Manchester United were playing and you had all that takeout food. We were supposed to work on coils, but you said that was more important, so we just stayed up smoking all night.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
Does that work for you?
The focal point has to be like an object.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I've got mine. He takes out his cigarettes, pulls out a cigarette, and plops it down on the desk.
does it have to be shared or do we each need one?
You each need your own. He turns around and opens up like a cabinet and pulls out some clay, and he starts molding like a little bit of clay into a cigarette.
I pull out my Requiem journal. I take it has to be important to us, and I take it that this won't be damaged in any way.
No. So he once he makes the cigarette out of clay, he places it on the front of the desk, and then he starts molding the clay into look like somewhat like your journal. I will now need to infuse your blood. It will help tie you to the focal point, but also it will allow me to be able to talk to you.
Probe. You know, slit
So
fingers and
he holds out a bowl, two separate bowls, one for you and one for Nux. And then after you both put your blood in the individual bowls, he goes back to his or he sets them down on the desk, and you see him start putting like different powders, and starts mixing it with like a crystal. He starts to do like a low humming. He dips his finger in the bowl and like spreads it on your focal points, the journal and the model of the journal and the cigarette. And then he starts doing like a low humming, and then he goes and puts the bowls into the wardrobe, and you can see there are two other bowls in there as well, and he closes it. Please lie down. um the Tismanu, or sorry, the dragon monk is humming humming like a low chant, but it makes you feel calm and soothes you. um the keeper says, "Did have you two shared blood?"
Yeah, when I learned Protean from him.
And he shared your blood?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I honestly don't even remember.
Maybe I gave him some of my blood to heal him when I pulled him off of that burning cross in New Orleans.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but that was a minute ago.
Okay, well, let go make sure. All right. Yep. Give Nux some of your blood. All right. So then he says, "All right. I need you to now both lay down and close your eyes. I need you to think of a place that that you feel safe, that you feel protected." Do you have that place in your head?
It's sketchy. William has trouble feeling safe anywhere. So I don't think it's a necessarily safe place, but he probably thinks of uh Pearl's bedroom.
Pearl's bedroom. I thought you were going to do Plasta Arms.
You're right. The Plastarms at a point of haven in. You're right. Yeah. Figure
Your haven?
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
I mean,
Plastarms works well.
I could go with Pearl's
Nope,
bedroom
nope,
too if
that
that's what
works
you
fine.
want.
The Plastars.
I can go with with Pearl's bedroom, but I thought you were going to
Phenomena.
say Plasta Arms. All right, all right. So your room in the Plasta Arms. All right. So you focus on your room, and you can hear the keeper saying to think about what the colors of the walls are and the floor. How is it? Wallpaper? Is it painted? Are the floors carpet or wood? And he continues to ask you to think about the room, and you are suddenly in your old room at the Plasta Arms. A small little room that does have wallpaper. I believe it's flowered. With your double bed and your chair and your armoire and the TV, the no windows, which was perfect for a vampire. The nice little vanity, and then the separate room that had the toilet and the tub. And you are standing in the middle of this room with Nux right beside you, and he's smoking a cigarette. Oh, thank God. I really was nervous. I really was nervous.
You know, if that's your touchstone out of here, you better hope that thing regenerates over and over.
Oh, yeah, it's not my touchstone, don't worry.
Mm,
It's a whole other thing.
okay.
All right. Well, if you're gonna be trying to do the memory palace thing, I don't know, you gotta pick up something, try to tie a memory to it somehow, or create, like a picture that looks like something for you to remember.
Like this room?
Yeah, but like, if you have to go to the grocery store and you need like carrots and a milk, you could picture like a carrot with a gallon of milk standing by the door.
So you're saying if I visualize something, it'll appear?
Yeah, or look at something around here and see if it jogs anything.
I'm gonna reach under the bed where I kept the chest full of guns.
Okay. As you go to reach under the bed, you hear Nux going, "Bloody hell!" And you suddenly feel yourself being pulled under the bed, and
What?
you find yourself in a mirror maze. Um, and you can hear laughing echoing all around you, Josephine laughing. Um, Nux is nowhere to be seen.
Am,
And
am I seeing my reflection or blurs of my reflection?
you see blurs of your reflection, but if you turn and look at different mirrors, you see visions like your mother laying dead on a like a rolling bed. You see Pearl laughing at you and saying, "Well, why would you think that I would have ever really loved you?" Um you see uh um you see Nux, but you didn't get to him in time on the cross, and he's nothing but a charred husk. You can hear Josephine saying, "Did you think you really could fix your memories? My dear boy, you are no match for me. You are, now, and always will be, my puppet." And then, um, wait, sorry, one second. All the mirrors fall away except one that you are looking to indirectly, and it's you at Quadsco Fortress dominating the woman to tell her that you guys are here as a special historical group. I don't remember exactly what you said, but to convince her that you guys are supposed to be there and to allow you to walk around. And you hear her say, "I've taught you well, overpowering people's minds to get what you want, just like me." And then the world falls away and you are falling into nothingness, and you land hard on sand. And it's bright here, but the sun isn't hurting you. And it's hot and dry. And there's some wind which is whipping sand uh past your face. Out of nowhere, you see Josephine plop in front of you. She's almost like flying through the air with a sword, a katana, and when she lands past you, she swipes your arm, which causes a gash that hurts, but not only hurts, it bleeds. And when you turn to look, she's no longer there.
Fuck.
But Nux appears in front of you. Oh, he's like, "Oh man, I fucking thought I lost you."
She's here. It's
What?
here.
I don't. What are you? And as soon as Nux says, "What are you?" you see a sword pop up through his chest, and his blood spatters across your face. He is pushed onto you, and lands in your arms. And Juliet is standing there, flicks the blood off her sword, and says, "Dear boy, you can't beat me." And from that, the camera pans up and up and up to see a top view of the little cabin in the submarine with Nux bleeding out on his cot, Rose and Juliet panicking and trying to stop the bleeding, the Tismanu holding both of your hands and telling you to just breathe and remain calm, to come back here, and the keeper trying to tell you to count to 5 and wake up, count to 5 and wake up. And it goes back into William holding Nux, bleeding and trying to say something to him, but he just can't. And that is your season finale.
You're gonna leave me on that cliffhanger for months?
Yes, I am.
Damn you! It's fair though.
Hey, think about where you left Artemis.
Very similar.
It is, and it's funny because I thought about this before you did that to Artemis. And I was like, well, damn. So I ended it a little early. Sorry.
So did I. It's a season ender.
But
Epic.
well, you ended late. I'm ending early, so
I,
sorry.
I thought I ended early
But
too.
and I think you went a little over.
Mm. Anyway,
Anyway,
sweet Jeebus. Hope you
so
hope you folks have enjoyed that.
yeah, and tune
Getting
in
so high
again
up.
in May to find out what's gonna happen to poor William and poor Nux.
Uh,
uh,
Beyond that, folks, Ashley may be taking a sabbatical for work, but that does not mean 3SR is stopping.
nope.
We have Valkyrie case files coming up in 2 weeks. This
The
same
very first
time,
episode.
this same time, this same place. And I'm nervous as hell, but I'm always nervous.
You're gonna do fine.
Thank you. We have, we're gonna keep Crit Chicks going. We're gonna keep
Keep
Shop
Shop
Talk
Talk
going.
going.
Uh,
Geriat Twitch is still gonna be going. Those of you who watch Geriat Twitch know that Edie's brother, Birdie, and her sister Fanny shall be taking over for Edie because she has to travel she's going on a road trip. Edie's me. Um
and if the demand is there and the time and possibility are there, hell, we might start throwing in more shows. We
Yep.
know a plethora of RPGs. Tell us what you'd like to see. We're getting more into D&D. We know Pathfinder 1E very well, and hell with it. I'll run rifts if you people want. Let's get nuts. But let us know what you'd like to see and even when you'd like to see it, because without you guys, this is just people playing games over a camera. You guys make it a show,
Yep.
and we
Uh
just adore sharing our 3SR family with you.
and don't forget to tune in this Tuesday for the ending of the Isle of Dread with Edie and Mavis. Should be interesting. Mavis is in the temple, and for those of you who are familiar with Isle of Dread, you know what's waiting there. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the season finale of the Requiem of William Ravelowe, Prophecy and Sacrifice.
A
Keep your
very
eyes peeled in April for the promo trailer for Artemis and William.
A very special thanks, as always, to the people who make this possible. Erica Hoffman, our engineer, Heidi Folan for the amazing art, Lindsay Kay for the layout and the background, and Sarah Turkowski for the logo. Loving it. And to all of you, thank you
Yep.
so much. And
Thank you.
stay safe. Be good to each other. Be patient. We're almost there. Wear a damn mask. But yeah.
See you all in May.